Good evening, my name is Brandy.
My name is Edward.
And my name is Gordon. Welcome
to the Advocates Effect. Tonight's program is titled, An End to an Era That Has Not Begun. It has been said, politics is the art of the possible. In these times, we all understand the need to deal with one's political opposition. However, these days the tone of political opposition is more accurately described as political enemies.
The term opposition seems to water down the real carrying on that continues to boil in Washington, our respective state capitals, and for that matter in the social media spaces.
When President Obama was elected, many saw this as the beginning of a new era. Sadly, most of us have been disappointed for reasons that will be explained. The reality is that President Obama's election more accurately should have been, and some still hope will be described, as an end to an era of great disappointment.
At this point in the case of President Obama, a criticism may be warranted. Put it this way, it's one thing to make deals to advance your goals, it's another to open the door to, as Paul Krugman has called it, zombie ideas or zombie economics.
In his defense, maybe it is unrealistic and not possible for President Obama to get more in the face of congressional skepticism about our government. Our political system is broken and nothing short of election reform is likely to fix what needs repair first.
Election and campaign finance reform is the first step to restoring confidence in our elected government.
Frankly, it seems a waste of time to continue partisan discussions and debate until something is done to fix the real problem that prevents America from recovery economically, socially, and to restore the fundamental freedoms we universally were once recognized and praised for in the description, land of the free and home of the brave.
I, as do many others, hope that our president will soon stand up to be counted as one of the brave.
In making these criticisms, we can look at some of the reasons that undermine and justify skepticism about our current elected government. First, economist and Nobel laureate Paul Krugman accurately states that free market fundamentalists have been wrong about everything, yet they now dominate the political scene more thoroughly than ever.
After runaway banks brought the economy to its knees, we heard GOP conservative and congressional representative Ron Paul, who many consider to be father of the Tea Parties, say, "I don't think we need regulators," as they begin to take over a key House panel overseeing the Fed.
Now, maybe it wasn't possible for President Obama to get more in the face of congressional skepticism about government. But even if that's true, it only demonstrates the continuing hold of a failed doctrine over our politics. A continuation of the era we had voted to end.
Mr. Krugman has explained that what the right said about why Obamanomics would fail was wrong. For 2 years we've been warned that government borrowing would send interest rates sky high. In fact, rates have fluctuated with optimism or pessimism about recovery, but stayed consistently low by historical standards.
For 2 years we've been warned that inflation, even hyperinflation, was just around the corner. Instead, disinflation has continued, with core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, now at a half-century low.
Notably, Mr. Krugman accurately points out that free market fundamentalists have been wrong about everything, yet they now dominate the political scene more thoroughly than ever. The fact is that such failures don't seem to matter, and the people who should have been trying to correct these ideas and failed doctrines have only tried to compromise with them instead.
This criticism is especially, though not only, true of the president himself. Some may argue that it is important to live to fight another day, but I for one disagree. There are others too who would say, stand up for what is right and let the chips fall.
In fact, in today's Huffington Post, attorney Norman Goldman writes, the Republicans have moved so far to the right that they keep planting their flag on ever more extreme soil, and the Democrats keep moving over there to be "centrist and bipartisan." The entire political spectrum has moved so far right that I hardly recognize America anymore. The Republicans have called the tune and set the terms of debate for 30 years.
Personally, to me it seems almost like high school dating. I couldn't agree more. Enough is enough. Someone has to have the guts to stand up and redefine the center. How that happens, in my opinion, needs to start with election reform. Our elected government has lost the credibility needed to lead, and we are just throwing hard-earned money after bad.
If the democratic process is to be salvaged, then start with campaign finance reform, and fix Congress first. Restore trust in our democracy, and then we can return to the parties and discussions, to address the needs of America. Put the cart behind the horse.
As Mr. Goldman says, the future of America is at stake. We've had enough mimicry and corporatism. It's time for our elected government to stop the self-service and start serving the people of our nation.
I'm not willing to give up on President Obama yet, but it's time to stand and fight with and for the proud and the brave, the people. Corporations are neither. At this point, President Obama needs to wrap his brain around this last thought: the Obama era does not exist, because the former lives on.
Fix Congress first. And let's move on together, Mr. President. The days are numbered.